Hello, hello, hello. I am Learning Tech, and I'm here to tell you about AAA and ACL. I'm doing a lab here. I've been doing this lab for a while, and I thought I'll make a video on it. I'm practicing my AAA configurations and my ACLs. AAA is authentication, authorize, and accounting. So AAA is a security protocol that you can configure, enable on devices like switches, routers, and it will keep track. It will also let you know how much authorization that you have, and mixing it with ACL is great practice with security. ACL, access control list, is also great. ACL, I see it as a filter. You can use VACL, so that's for VLANs. You can use PACL, that's port ACLs, and they're really good for filtering traffic. So besides me putting in the same commands and making this video super long, I already made the commands here, but I'm going to walk through the commands and talk about the commands with you. So on switch 1, host, it's always great to have a host name, especially when you're in a enterprise environment. You're going to have so many switches and routers, and it's always a good idea to know what device that you're in when you're configuring. The no IP domain lookup, I don't know if a lot of people know that command. I figured out this command when I was having a lot of issues. I'll just show you. So you log in, switch 1, enable, and let's say you shorthand something. Okay, you meant to type in exit, and that's what happens. It will work on asking the DNS to look this up of what you're looking for. If you want this to stop, you do Control-Shift-6, and then it stops. So that will completely stop. If you shorthand something or fat finger something, and you put in this configuration, no IP domain lookup, it will just say this command doesn't exist, and it will stop it completely. And then enable secret Cisco 1123. This is when I'm about to start the authentication with the AAA. AAA new model, user admin, privilege 15. Now I'm using privilege 15. Privilege 15 is the highest level privilege that you can have. So you can do all the configurations, you can do the help, you can do the show commands, you can do all of it. That's the highest level that you can do. The lowest level that you can do is 0. The highest level you can do is 15. And the secret is Cisco 123, AAA authentication login default. By default, when you get into the device, it's going to ask for the AAA login, and this is the login right here. The line console 0, that's when you plug in to your device, like the router. Actually, I can show you that. I can show you the line console 0. The line VTY is if you're transporting with Telnet or SSH. So up to 5 lines here to log in with Telnet and SSH. You must configure the SSH if you want to use SSH, but you can come in with Telnet. It's going to ask the same authentication right here, admin privilege. The admin and the Cisco 123, and then here's all the VLANs, and then switch mode access, stuff like that, and a lot of the same thing over here on switch 2. I want to talk more about R1. Now, R1, I did not use a layer 3 switch. So with my default gateways, I'm using a router. So I need to do a router on a stick because each VLAN needs a gateway. Every VLAN, because it's separate, VLAN 10 is separate from VLAN 20 segmentation. Different networks. So if they're communicating outside of their network, they need a default gateway. So I'm doing it the old way. I'm doing a router on a stick. If you use a layer 3 can do layer 2 and layer 3, a layer 3 switch. So you can use a layer 3 switch for this. I'm just doing a router. So if you're doing it as a router, you need to make a sub interface, and that's what I did with VLAN 10, 20, 30, 40. And what is happening is there's going to be a tag, a VLAN tag on the frame. It's going to go up to the router. The router is going to know that it's this network. Take off the tag, put a new tag on, and let's say it's going to VLAN 20. And it comes down the same interface here. So it goes up this interface and then comes down the same interface. This is not best practice, especially for huge enterprises, because that's just a lot of bandwidth. That's a lot of CPU work. There'll just be a lot of work on the network. That's why enterprises are using layer 3 switches. So I also did NAT too, and that's the configuration for NAT. I'm also doing NAT because NAT is really good so you're not using up all your IP addresses. And hold on, I'm missing configuration with the NAT. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. I did forget some configurations here. I knew that wasn't right. So I had IP NAT outside, but I didn't make it clear what's the outside interface and the IP address. So using NAT is great because you're saving IP addresses. We're running out of IPv4. Actually, we already ran out. That's why we're using IPv6. But NAT will help you use a public IP address for your private IP address, and your DHCP server doesn't have to keep issuing out more public IP addresses. You can just use the same, especially when you use this overload here. Overload, you can use the same public IP address and it will come back as a different port number. So your network will be able to identify which end device is going to. So that's also really cool. So now here, what I'm doing here with the ACLs is I do not want VLAN 20 talking to VLAN 10, VLAN 20 talking to VLAN 40, but I do want VLAN 20 to talk to VLAN 30, and that's what it's saying here. So anything from the VLAN 20 network communicating to VLAN 10 or 40, no, don't talk, but permit IP any. Now, doing the permit IP any is very, very important, because if you don't do that, it's a automatic deny if you don't do any permit at the end of your ACL. So that's very important. A lot of people forget that. Okay, and then I'm making sure I'm putting on the sub interface when I'm configuring it. And same thing with 30. I want 30 not to talk to 10 and 30 not to talk to 40. Same thing. This is what I think is really cool that ACLs can actually do, is they can stop pings. So ICMP actually does a lot of things besides ping, but I'm just going to talk about ping right now. So I am denying 192.168.40, so VLAN 40, from pinging the host, the VLAN 10. I am denying that PC4 can ping PC1, but PC1 will be able to ping PC4. Okay, let's walk through it. I'll show you. Okay, all the configurations are in. Let's go ahead and do this here. Do show access list. Oh, do show access list. There we go. So here's all the access lists I was telling you about before. So I mainly just want to show you two things in this lab. I want to show you pinging VLAN 40 and logging in the console line, like I told you earlier. Let's do the console line first, actually. So if I get a laptop and I go here, I get the blue cable, the console cable, and I plug in here RS232, and I plug in here on the console, and I log in here. I go to config, well, I'm sorry, I go to desktop, excuse me, and then I go to terminal, and then all this is right. I hit OK. Now I'm actually in the router, and I can exit out, and then this is the AAA authentication that I was telling you about. It's right here, admin, capital C, Cisco, 1, 2, 3. And then if I want to get to global configuration mode, I have another password. It's the Cisco 1, 2, 3, and then I'm in. I'm fully in. Do show access list. There we go. See? So that is absolutely cool. I really enjoy AAA. I enjoy SSH. I think all that stuff is really cool. Now I want to show you the ping for PC1 to PC4. So PC1 is 10.1, okay. PC4 is 40, okay. .1, correct? Yeah, it's 1, okay. And it pings it just fine. Okay, so now let's just switch it. That's 10.1. Ping 192.168.10.1. Now this thing, it's pinging just fine too. Now what I noticed with Packet Tracer, my configurations are correct. But this was supposed to be unreachable. And I'll show you. I can do it more than once. But how you see here, this ACL has not been activated at all. You don't see any numbers under it. Now, if you go, you have 12 matches. So on like a regular network, VLAN 40 won't be able to ping VLAN 10. It will just say unreachable. And you will have this, also the numbers of people trying to reach it. So again, that is AAA and ACLs. Nice little short lab here. And I just want to say thanks for listening. Have a good day.